Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Ball Not Court Podcast, host Cortez Paul.
Along with my co-host Paul Mack.
I want to thank you folks for tuning in today and listening to the show. Basically, we cover basketball, football, NCAA, or anything that's related to current events with a humorous twist to it, at least. You can follow the podcast at BIOC Podcast at X or Twitter. We're also on Instagram at the same name, BIOC Podcast. You go to our YouTube channel, that's also BIOC Podcast. Our Facebook page is Balls Not Court Podcast. So if you could please just give us a like, shout, comment on any of those, and definitely subscribe to our YouTube channel. And we thank you for listening and enjoy the show. Balls Not Court Podcast. Thank you very much. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Balls Not Court Podcast. Cortez Paul is here. Mr. Paul Mack is joining us this week. Welcome back, sir.
I'm back. I'm here. You had a full house. Last week, so I'll let y'all cook.
Absolutely, man. Well, hey, appreciate you. You was sorely missed. It's good to have you back. And of course, we got our resident Eagles fan, Mr. Tom Childs, is back. Good afternoon, sir.
Thank you for having me back. I'm glad Mr. Paul Mac and Cheese is back. He's the He's the backbone of this podcast. So I'm glad that you guys allow me to be here with you too.
Absolutely, man. Good to have you. So, hey, man, we're gonna kind of get in today. I know today is 9/11, so before we go into the podcast, I just want to kind of commemorate and pay our respects to what happened that day. And I always like kind of ask this question because it's part of our generation. But we always ask, like, at least with us, were you around this certain current event that happened in the world? So I'm going to start with you, Tom. 9/11, man. Where were you at? And, like, what did you see when the events that took place that day?
So it's kind of near and dear to me because I'm from Connecticut. And a lot of people that I know was working in Twin Towers, and they were very close. And I was in high school, and all the schools shut down, and phone calls was getting called to the schools. We have cell phones, but it wasn't like it is nowadays, where you could get a text or something like that. And I think it was I don't know what period I was in, but I just know that the phone calls were coming up. And the TV was going crazy. Like, they were rolling in TVs and they were plugging them in and everything was going on. And I had a lot of close people that were in New York at that time. Like I said, I'm from Connecticut. So I'm in the central state. I'm in the middle of the state. So for me to get to the Twin Towers, maybe like an hour and a half, maybe an hour and 45 minutes. So it's very close. And schools were locked down. It was just surreal. And then by the time they turned the TVs on, I was seeing planes, you guys know the scenario. You were just seeing all of that coming to pass right in front of your face. And to be so close to it, and to also have friends and family that were, in the line of duty and just being there at the time, man, it's like so surreal. And it was just something that you would never think would happen. And I just want to salute all the officers and everybody that had to deal with any of the backlash and just everything that has to go within it, man. And just a day that we remember. And I, like I said, I was just so close to it. So it's, it hits home to me.
100%, man. So thanks for sharing that, Tom. Paul, where were you when this day happened?
Yeah, similar time. I was in high school. I was in 9th grade. And I remember being in school, man. It was just like a regular day. I mean, obviously, I was in Florida, so I was far away, but I still have a lot of family up there. But I remember being in school and kind of like the news breaking and whatever you were doing just kind of stopped. I forget what class I was necessarily in, but TVs get cut on. We had to go to lunch. We're in the cafeteria. All the TVs were on in the cafeteria. And just, watching all that stuff unfold, man, and just seeing, even being in Florida, just the panic of just, parents coming and getting their kids from school, people, checking on each other. Like, I mean, that was back in 2001. So, cell phones were, not as abundant with kids and stuff as they are now. So I remember a lot of kids getting picked up from school. I remember kind of, getting home and trying to figure out what you just saw happen, because it didn't seem real. Like, even on the TV, it just didn't look real. But yeah, man, that's one of those days. Like I said, I always remember where I was. And it was in 9th grade, kind of heading to lunch, and everybody just filed in we had our cafeteria and our gym and our auditorium had like an annex, so it was all kind of connected. So everybody just kind of piled in. They had all the TVs on, and everyone was just kind of there. And I think at that point, like, the rest of the day didn't really matter, as long as everybody was safe, packed in there. But for me, it was just like a 9th grade only campus, so there wasn't like a ton of kids. But yeah, man, it's wild, and even now, all these years later, everything that's kind of transpired from that, all the conspiracy theories that are out in the world, everything that's going on, it's just one of those things that it's crazy to think that our generation has been through these events that they're going to be talking about in schools when our kids are getting to high school or whatever. I mean, it's just crazy. Being a New York sports fan, obviously this day is always a big day for New York sports, obviously. But I have a lot of memories of just the first games back, after this tragedy, and some of the incredible things that happened to kind of pick the city back up. I think that was the important thing, is seeing how sports was able to kind of put some life back in New York after such a tragic event, kind of bring everybody together. It didn't matter if you were Yankee fans, Mets fans, Jets fans, Giants fans, just having sports back and giving people something to root for, something to cheer for, and something to care about, I think was really important. I think that was one of the true times where I knew that sports was more than just watching TV and kind of passing the time, that it really stood for something. And that's kind of the things that I hold dear to me, is, watching Mike Piazza homer on the first game after September 11th for the Mets, and just, Shea Stadium at the time going crazy. But, it's a historic thing, and, just always going to remember where we were and what happened on that day. And, like Tom said, just, huge shout out to all the people that were out there, the first responders, the medical people, medical professionals, all the monuments, and just know that those people are never forgotten about. And yeah, man.
No doubt, man.
And Cortez, I'm sorry, I don't mean to cut you off. I just want to make this real quick. And me being law enforcement, prior law enforcement in the state of Florida, I done been mentored by many people that have been responders from 9/11 and NYPD and the fire department and stuff like that. And I shout out to all those guys because they're really close to my heart. And again, me being a first responder, I've never been in a catastrophe or anything like that. And I can't even fathom, so I won't even say that I know what they're going through. But on this day, we just got to remember these guys that literally sacrificed their life, and their families that had to go through not knowing, because we were in a time where you didn't know. You couldn't call like that. You couldn't email. You couldn't text. You couldn't, you couldn't do any of that stuff, man. So I just want to shout out to anybody's family that was out there, anybody's mother, father, sister, brother. Thank you for your service. Definitely. Today is one of those days, and every day is one of those days. But, just remembering, what happened on our soil. It doesn't happen a lot. It's never happened. But we just need to remember them right now. And I appreciate you guys.
No doubt, man. Yeah, same for me, man. I was in high school. I was a junior in high school when this time happened. We was in class. And I get news like, yo, the tower's been hit in New York. I said, stop playing. And that's my initial response. I'm like, that ain't happened, man. That ain't happened. Nah, man. And so teacher's like, well, let's see. Let's put on the TV. TV come on, and literally, like the class, you can hear a pin drop. That's how quiet it got. I was in high school over here. I mean, I got some family in New York, but it's like distant family. So, I mean, I don't have any, at that point in time, I didn't have too many interactions with, New York in that area. But, at that point in time, we just really felt like we're Americans at this point. And this is something that was just an unreal picture to see. You see this towers on fire and ash everywhere, and just an unreal picture that you've seen, man. And the people that was lost, and the first responders that put their bodies and time in the line to save these people. So it's crazy now that, I'm in a profession that deals with safety, and we just got to prepare for emergency procedures that you just got to prepare for the worst to happen. And that's crazy in the job that I'm in now. I really have to prepare for the worst what happened. We have to do scenarios, do drills, be ready for active shooters, be ready for ammonia. Like, I gotta be ready for all this stuff. So when that happens, man, I'm just in awe, man. Just looking back at stuff like that and see how, the world did come together. At least United States really came together, and really for the first time, this happened on, where we grew up, Yeah, New York is far away, thousands of miles away, but this is on United States property, solar. It's just unreal to see. So, as Tom and Paul mentioned, man, I'm not gonna go into. They did a great job elegantly putting it, but it's kudos to the first responders that had to deal with that, and to the ones that lost loved ones. And still, this is the day I'm pretty sure that resonates with so many people, and I'm pretty sure this day continuously to open up wounds, but it is a reminder that, during crisis that we can overcome and be better. And so sports is a great equalizer for that. And I feel like that as well, too, just moving forward with this. So significant moment in history. And we always remember 9/11. And there's always a summer day and always a day reflection of what happened that day. So thank you guys for that. I always like to kind of open that and see where you were that day, and let people hear it. And I'm pretty sure that'd be a good conversation starter. And it has probably been for today, as far as 9/11. So, but let's get into it, man. Week 1 of football. Paul, you ain't been on a while. You kind of took a break, which was good. I want to give it to you, man. What's your overall reaction?
Which was good. What do you mean by that?
Listen, he needed to relax his mind, man. Paul's talent. So
Paul, don't take that. You don't got to take that by him. Go ahead.
You need to refresh.
I had a mental bye week. It's okay.
Your team had a mental bye week as well, but I ain't gonna say nothing about that. We talk about it later.
But Paul, talk to me about week 1. What's your overall thoughts of week 1?
I think a big takeaway for me is Lamar Jackson cannot beat the Kansas City Chiefs, and it's crazy that guy by himself had probably almost 400 yards of offense by himself. And when it comes down to making plays, when he has to throw, I mean, he had 3 chances in the end zone. He missed a wide open guy in the corner, threw out the back of the end zone. He missed a wide open guy in the back of the end zone, wasn't even close. And then obviously Isaiah Likely almost made a hell of a catch. But, for him to be the reigning MVP, he has to make those plays. And I think until he's able to make those plays, I think teams take note that you can kind of And it's kind of like I said last year. Like when games are close, Baltimore is susceptible to these kind of things happening to them. Like it's last year they won a lot of games big. Didn't have to worry about making plays in the final 2 minutes. They have to worry about all these things they had to worry about. But then came the postseason when they played Kansas City, and and what happened? Big stage Lamar shows up time in and time out, and this was opening night on national TV. He was running all over the place. He was making plays. They didn't score a lot of points, so he wasn't getting the ball into the end zone. But I think for me, the Ravens as a whole, for what they've done, I think just have a lot of things they have to figure out, and I just don't know if they're going to be the same team they were last year. And I know, everyone had high hopes on Baltimore to kind of repeat and do what they did last year. But from what I saw, Thursday night, there's a lot of questions, I think, going on with the Baltimore Ravens. So that was my big takeaway, was just how Baltimore looked coming out in a kind of a revenge game versus the defending champs. And just Lamar coming up short, because you want to see the MVP make those plays, and just time and time again he doesn't make those plays, and I think at some point it becomes a Lamar issue, and he didn't necessarily have a lot of weapons around him. I mean, they brought in Derrick Henry. I don't think they know how to use Derrick Henry. I mean, he was off the field more than he was on the field, which isn't helping Lamar Jackson all that much, but. It's going to be a long season, so we'll see what happens. I mean, it could have just been Kansas City. I know that their defense is pretty underrated, but dude ran for over 100 yards, threw for over 200 yards. But when it just came down to crunch time, he couldn't get in the end zone, and that's gonna cost you a lot of games if you can't win the close ones. So that was my big takeaway.
Got you, Tom. Your thoughts on the Ravens and Chiefs game, and what do you think about the way they use Derrick Henry?
Well, they use him sparingly, and if you're a running back, you got to wait till the offensive line breaks down and kind of use your holes, and then after that, your second sense has to go and get it right. But again, like Paul said, I don't think they use him right. But again, I think he was just like stale that game. But Isaiah Likely, he did his thing. Zay Flowers, Lamar, he was a target, but I think the Chiefs' defense was just too much for him. He missed Zay Flowers in the backfield where they could have probably tied the game up and went to overtime. And I just don't think Henry was. I can't say he wasn't used right. I just think he needs a couple more weeks to kind of work himself in there, to acclimate himself in there, because after a while you saw Lamar going back to what he used to do. He started running the ball more. He started being more dominant with taking snaps and not even reading the offense and just kind of like tucking the ball down and running. And Derrick Henry obviously had that first touchdown, a short distance. And last podcast I said Derrick Henry and Lamar is going to get together and they're going to have a couple of touchdowns together. I was wrong, but, I just think they got to implement more of that passing in there, man. And I think it through the years, I think that's what everybody says, man. They were so close to getting that win. But I think if they implement the pass a little bit more, they would have had that win.
I mean, Lamar threw it 41 times. You can't implement the pass any more than they did. I mean, that's part of why Derrick Henry didn't play, because they were using, Justice Hill, because he's a better receiver out of the backfield. So but
to my point, he's 41 to 26. I get that he needs to implement the pass, and I said that, but he's a running quarterback, and he never throws that much. He needs to throw at least like 50, 60, a little more, just to get everybody out there. You know, he's going to run. It doesn't matter who he has in the backfield. As we said last week, I said it might be spread upon him and Derrick Henry. I thought it was going to be more of a, read option, and he got to pass a little more. He passed a lot. He's got to pass some more.
I mean, this is why you bring Derrick Henry in, for him to get this many rushing attempts. And the Baltimore did win the time possession battle here. They had 33 minutes where they had the ball compared to the Chiefs.
Because they ran so much. They ran so damn much.
Right, but to beat Pat and who ran the most was pretty much Lamar. Lamar was running the ball.
They got to pass.
Yeah,
I don't mean to cut you off. And to my point, they gotta run some more. Zay Flowers had 14 yards. Think about that. How are you going to win a game when you got a stud wide receiver that only has 14 yards? Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, 14 yards.
He had 37. He had 37 receiving yards. He had 14 rushing yards. They ran like a little.
14. There you go. I'm sorry.
Jet sweep for him.
But either way, you can't win a game like that when your best receiver or one of your best receivers only have that many yards. That's all I'm saying. I didn't mean to cut you off, Cortez. Sorry.
But my vision, at least what I see for the Ravens, this is why I'm if I'm bringing the Derrick Henry in, I'm murking the game up. Like it's gonna be 3 yards, 4 yards a rush. But then guess what? Lamar, when he get the 3rd and 2, 3rd and 3, deep passes, or at least the RPO option is there. He don't have to make these deep passes. At this time, it'd be a possession game. You got a kicker, one of the better kickers in the league. I'm making the game ugly. And that way you keep Pat Mahomes on the sideline. And I get, and that's why I say he went back to his ways where he started really running the ball. But, I mean, Lamar, the guy is here to help you take the pressure off for you not running the ball as much. And
but again, he's going to go back to his – he's going to go back to his hot dogs and beans. That's what he knows. He's going to run. Derrick Henry didn't produce early in the game. Like, he had one touchdown, but it was a 5-yard touchdown, 7-yard touchdown. So if you think you got to put the game on your shoulders, what you going to do? Go back to what you're doing. But he's got to, like you said, he's got to get out of that, and he's got to start implementing the ball somewhere else.
If I'm the Ravens, easily for me, Derrick Henry's getting 20 carries a game.
Exactly.
And I think that goes back to kind of what I said last year. The Ravens, I don't think they can win ugly. I don't think it's in their DNA to play that way. I think they're a big play team. They want to make big plays. Lamar's going to make big plays. I mean, one of their touchdowns was a huge play to Isaiah Likely. That's where a chunk of those yards came from. For the most part, that offense was in check aside from Lamar breaking, 20-yard runs up the middle on broken pass plays.
You got to remember, Isaiah Likely had 111 yards, and I'm sorry, I don't mean to step on your toes, but Isaiah Likely was the guy to go to. You know what I mean?
Right, but of those 111 yards, 45 of them were one catch. It was a big play that he made in the fourth quarter, or late in the third quarter, getting to the end zone. So I mean, it's just that's the Ravens style. Is they're just they use Lamar to set up the big play. They want to break down the defense. They want to break the pocket, and they just want to, see if they can get a big play out of it. And I just don't think they can give the ball to Derrick Henry, 22 times a game, and have the same successes that they've been having when Lamar is their primary rusher. Because for me, if my quarterback has 395 yards of total offense and only one total touchdown, what's it all for? You know what I mean?
And that's why they brought Derrick Henry in there.
Yeah, and that's the thing to your point, Paul. And I agree with you that this is a team that's finesse, but Derrick Henry's not finesse. He's power. That's why you bring players like that in to milk that in.
That's why they brought him in.
And that's probably why, to your point, Paul, where you say the games that they've blown out teams and everything like that. Well, this is the dog. You got Darian as a dog. And this is just me. I think he should get 20 attempts, and then you just work off that. You create an option or RPO. You got the tight ends that's talented. You got Zay Flower, who's talented. They got Mark Andrews, who come off major injury, and then when he get back in the groove, he's going to be another piece. This team is too deep to be struggling with Kansas City.
It's just when you're playing a team like Kansas City, you have to pound Derrick Henry to wear down Chris Jones and that defensive line. Like, sure, Derrick Henry averaged 3.5 yards a carry, but who's to say that if you don't give him the ball enough times, he's not going to break one like he always does? He's that guy that he pounds the defense and then he'll break one when everybody else is tired. Because as the game goes later on, he gets stronger. He's traditionally gotten stronger as the game's gone on. And you got to feed the dog. You let the dog eat. And he wasn't even on the field. He wasn't even on the field in the fourth quarter, I don't think.
What I was gonna say, but again, we haven't said anything about the defensive side, man. Them boys were shutting them down every way around, man. Like,
were they though? Lamar had 400 yards by himself, Tom. Lamar Jackson had 400 yards of offense.
We know he's gonna have that though. Think about that, but they would clamp down in every way. They didn't start throwing the ball well until the third quarter. They wasn't getting nothing. But then also, when you go back to Kansas City, them boys look lightning fast. I ain't gonna lie.
Dude,
you can't tell me them boys look like they was like fucking floating on air. They was beating their ass up every single time they passed over the top.
But it's so easy to fall into the trap the way Kansas City plays. Kansas City's finesse too. High scoring, octane offense. So of course you can get drawn to that, and then the game's so fast, and you take out Derrick Henry, and I don't know. And it's week one. They still got to incorporate Derrick Henry and all that stuff, but good stuff. We'll go on to the next game. There's good discussion here.
Paul Mack, I'm glad you're back. Paul Mac and Cheese, I'm so glad you're back.
All right, the Eagles and the Packers. So this game was the first game in the Southern Hemisphere in Brazil. And the Eagles end up winning this game 34-29. So I'm going to let our resident Eagles guy go ahead and kind of sign off and see what you thought about this game. And certainly that, unfortunately, one of the main pieces on the other side of the team got hurt. But we'll have a discussion with that. But nonetheless, victory lap. Talk about your team in week one, Tom.
We won.
That's your analysis.
No, man. No. I wish it was. I mean, we didn't play a good game, man. We should have been beat. It was a sticky game. Jalen Hurts did not look good. And this is all my opinion. And this is why we do what we do. It just was. I can't blame it on the field. I can't blame it on anything else. And the week before, we talked about quarterback stats. And Love went 17-34. And we said he was going to be a 4,000 or over quarterback. And I think he still will. Jacobs, he was tearing our ass up. And not to say that I'm not going to go back to the Eagles. I'm just trying to give you the benefit of the doubt. He was tearing off on us. He had 84 yards. And it was just they were doing everything they were supposed to do when they needed to do it. Mm-hmm. But get back to that man that was on the Giants, Paul Mack. Saquon Barkley should have had 4 touchdowns. He had 3. That boy had 109 yards altogether. And he had some receiving yards. A.J. Brown went stupid as well. As he should have. Mm-hmm. Put it like this. We shouldn't have won that game. Just due to the way that Jordan Love was slinging that ball. Pause. The way that they was running the ball. But we kind of stepped up at the end of the game We made some key plays. I'm just making it cut and dry. I don't want to make it like too intricate. We just stepped up and made some plays, man. We got some things we got to address on the offensive line. We got some things we got to address with our quarterback. But I'm gonna tell you, Saquon Barkley, he did everything that I didn't think he was gonna do, and I'm not gonna lie. I didn't think he was gonna have 109 yards rushing. We had some problems with our center. He couldn't snap the ball. He wasn't ready. He just wasn't ready for that high octane offense. And I just don't want to get too emotional with it. But we played a good game that we probably should have lost, but we won.
Absolutely.
I want to say that.
All right. Paul, what you make of Jordan Love's injury?
It's unfortunate. Luckily, there was no damage, so hopefully he'll be all right. A week to 10 days to a couple weeks, whatever. Luckily, it's in the early part of the season. It'd be a shame if this kind of thing happened middle of the year when they're on a kind of a playoff push. But this goes back to kind of the difference in teams, right? Eagles have championship pedigree. They know how to win these kind of games. That field was giving them problems early in the game. They made adjustments. And your Lord and Savior Saquon Barkley, who I know very well, came in. And
sorry, sir. Don't call us. Don't call him a Lord and Savior. Don't do that.
And he did what he had to do. Obviously, AJ Brown's going to do AJ Brown stuff. Devontae Smith's going to step in there as well. But at the end of the day, 3 touchdowns out of Saquon Barkley is the difference in the game. His ability to catch out of the backfield. He's able to do things that the Eagles used to use 2 running backs for. So he has to be on the field for 3 downs, essentially. Obviously, you could take him out a little bit when you want to bring in Gainwell. But for the most part, Saquon's going to be on the field a lot of snaps. Even with the Giants, as bad as the Giants were, he's on the field for snaps. He's going to play snaps. He's a weapon out of the backfield. He can catch. Obviously, he can run. I think that just adds a dimension that should eventually help Jalen Hurts. Obviously, 2 touchdowns, 2 picks is a little tough. The turnovers are what kind of kept Green Bay in the game. It's probably a different game if he doesn't throw those picks early in the game, but but if you're Philly, that's a good start winning a dogfight like that against a team that a lot of people have potentially winning that division, against a guy who people have high hopes for, throw for a lot of yards, be a potential MVP candidate in Jordan Love. So, I'll say it. I picked the Packers. I'm probably never going to pick the Eagles to win a game, but kudos to the Eagles.
Can I add something else though? And like I said last week, I said he'll be over 4,000 yards passing again, just because his diligence is really good. But
you talking about Jordan Love?
Yeah, I didn't want to say his name because Paul Mack didn't want to kind of put the Eagles on the map, but it is what it is. But once we hone in and once we get this under center and get it right, we're going to be back to our old shit.
That's some big shoes to fill though, man.
It is. That's what I'm saying. Like, he's got to get acclimated in to actually. You saw how the tush push, it didn't go well.
Mm-hmm.
We got to but we got to get him right. And I think everything you saw the second play, the second fumble or the first fumble that we had, he just wasn't on time. Like, it comes to little things like that we need to get honed in on that'll make us a lot better. And I think obviously losing one of the GOATs, and I'll say he's one of the GOATs at snapping that ball,
yeah.
It's going to make us it's do or die with that position.
Gotcha. All right, good stuff. Let's go on to the next game. Talk about the Jacksonville Jaguars and the Miami Dolphins. There was an event that happened before the game. Tyreek Hill got pulled over by Miami PD, and same with speeding. And the next thing you know, situation kind of escalated to him being pulled out the car and handcuffs. Tom, you talked about being in this field, Farmer. What's your whole thoughts about this whole situation? And even though we got to go in a deep dive of it, but we just, he did come out and had a good game. So
I'm not going to go in deep dive of it. Like he did his just due, and he, I'm gonna tell you what. Like, by the way, I'm retired by now. I'm retired, and before I even came to Florida, I wasn't even in law enforcement. So, with somebody that's never been in law enforcement, but that knows that anything could turn left or right, he did what he was supposed to do. You know what I mean? He just let the process happen, and I'm glad that it didn't end in malice. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
that guy, I commend him on a lot of things, and then even when he did his press conference, he still said, "Hey, I'm paraphrasing, but he was like, I respect, law enforcement, and, I don't believe that, everybody's the same as far as law enforcement officers, because there's always one person that got to do the extra." So Tyrek Hill, he did his thing, man. Like he actually made it simple. He didn't, make it crazy. He didn't act out, and it was good, man. It wasn't good. I'm sorry, but he held his own.
With all that went on, he still went and played the game and
exactly
and did what he had to do. I mean, that could have been a lot of stretch, but this dude still went ahead and went off for 130 yards, 7 receptions. Yeah. So got a touchdown.
He held his own. And he held his head, man. And a lot of people can't do that.
Yeah. Paul, talk to me about the game, because this game was a pretty good game, actually. Jacksonville losing 17-20. Dolphins got the win. And I just want to ask you, man, because we saw the highlights here. Did the Jaguars just lose this game, or did the Dolphins won it?
I was going to say, I think this is one of those classic games that the Jaguars lost. They just let Miami hang around. They just couldn't put them away. And when you're playing against a team like Miami, another big play team, a team that looks for the big play, explosive, a 4-point lead, a 3-point lead, those aren't going to do it for you, because those things can just disintegrate at any second. So, you want to see the Jaguars put that game away, because they were dominating the first half.
Yeah, they ran the ball well.
ETN played great. Trevor Lawrence, 12 of 21, 162. But, ETN got in the end zone. Tank Bigsby ran the ball really, really well. So they had kind of a little two-headed running game going on. They ran for over 100 yards as a team. It just, with Miami, you got to get the ball in the end zone. And
that fumble was big by NTN too, by the way.
Yeah, for sure. And that's the thing, is you can't give Miami extra possessions, and you can't win by kicking field goals. That's not going to beat the Dolphins, even on a day where they didn't look the best. Mm-hmm. But in one play, a lead could evaporate so fast against the Dolphins, and it's a shame, because that could have been a big start for the Jags. Obviously they're going to be running head to head with the Texans. The Texans are not slowing down. They're picked up right where they left off last year. The Colts season should be interesting with Anthony Richardson being healthy. So, the Jags aren't the top tier in that division anymore, where they kind of had that cushion the last few years. The rest of the division's caught up to them, and it's tough to lose games like this, because if you start off 1-0, beating the Miami Dolphins in Miami, that's a huge push. That's as big as a statement win as you could have in week one. Mm-hmm. That would have been the same thing if Baltimore came out, beat Kansas City, or some of these other teams came out and just beat a team that they need to beat early. And this just kind of sets the tone for Jacksonville. I mean, if they can get the ball in the end zone, it's gonna be tough, man. Like you want to see Trevor Lawrence Everybody talks about Trevor Lawrence making that next step, about how good he is. But
He's got to be better than that.
This is what we get out of Trevor Lawrence. 162 yards, 1 touchdown, no turnovers. But, I mean, that's not going to win you a lot of games when your quarterback throws for 160 yards and 1 touchdown against the Miami Dolphins. If you look at this stat sheet, if you look at just the Jaguars stats, you would have thought that they lost by 2 touchdowns.
Yeah.
Like nothing jumps off the page at all. It said, "Oh, Jacksonville played Miami. They scored 2 touchdowns. Okay, they lost by 3. I wouldn't have believed you if you told me that. I would have assumed Miami straight walloped them and didn't stand a chance. Trevor Lawrence was in a situation where he had to throw the ball 40 times because they were down 14 points in the fourth quarter, but they were in the game the whole time, and he only threw 21 passes.
Yeah. Nah, good point. Good point. Tom, Tua had a day.
Tua had a day.
Yeah, he had a day.
And I said he would have a day. And the day he had, 23, 37. And shit, to what we said earlier, I think Tyrek was he was a little upset. Nobody in the NFL could really match up with that dude. And then you just got a lot of speed on that side, man. They almost lost that game. And I think the Jaguars was like, they were so close. But that punch out, man, I think that let me get back to the Miami. I'm about to say Heat, but let me get back to Miami Dolphins. There were 3 drives that they needed, right? They're long ball drives. If they don't have those guys to make those long ball or those deep threats, they don't get it. If they don't get one of them, the game is over. 17-20. You know what I mean? Jaguars defense is decent, but I think I'm gonna go ahead and say I'm gonna say they're decent, right? But also the Miami Dolphins they just live and die by the gun. You know what I mean? So I don't think they got no run game. They just it's just run and gun, man. So when Tua's on, he's on. If he's off, they don't win that game, man. And he was kind of like he was halfway. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying, but like I think they just got lucky this game, man.
Yeah. Because you can tell his stats popped out the sheet, but for this to be like Paul said, you tell him to score and you look and just kind of watch. Like this doesn't seem like a 2017 score game.
No, they just got lucky on this game, man. Because Trevor
and the Jazz don't get me wrong. Jazz are a good team, but then you look at this like the MO in Miami last year, they couldn't win the big game, right?
Exactly.
They couldn't win the big game. So they're in a dogfight with Jacksonville, who's a good team, by the way. Jacksonville is a good team. And they're
decent. They're a decent team.
They're a pretty good team. They're a pretty good team.
But you gotta think about the matchup. Miami has the firepower on offense. The defense, obviously, is kind of suspect. But what I'm saying is this. Tua, 23 of 37, he's not accurate. He could just throw the ball up and somebody's going to catch it. You know what I mean? So you got to put that in perspective. If you didn't have that weapon on offense, Tua's not going to make them passes, man. You saw all the passes that he overthrew. You saw all the passes that he wasn't accurate on. Those should have been touchdowns. The game should have been 40-something to 17.
Mm-hmm.
He's not that good of a quarterback, but he can make it happen because he's got these weapons on it.
Yeah, it'll be interesting how they play this season out too, because a lot of people are putting Miami to win that division. So it's funny we get all these week ones, and then week 4 we really start to kind of develop a storyline for every team in NFL where their season's going to go, at least what we project it to be. So, all right, one more game we'll cover before we make our we go kind of break our own team stuff down like that. Me and Paul will. We want to, but Jets and the 49ers.
No, you can skip over that. I'm good.
Okay. I got you, man. Jets 49ers, 32-19. Aaron Rodgers back, and it seems to be
Need we say more?
running game came through really for this game. But Paul, talk to me about the 49ers and Jets game and no McCaffrey, and then they still managed to do this really pretty well. And then talk to me about their running game.
Yeah, I think that just shows kind of how good that offense is in San Francisco. I mean, obviously they locked up Trent Williams finally, so he's playing now. He got a big contract. But when you hear an hour or two before the game that McCaffrey's not playing, you're game planning for McCaffrey all week. And they literally just bring in a true bruiser of a running back. And they also use Debo a lot too. I know he's kind of been a gimmicky kind of guy, but they used him on some runs too. I mean, he had 8 carries. But Jordan Mason, who had Jordan Mason on their fantasy football team? Who had Jordan Mason on their bingo card?
Nobody.
28 for 147. And what's crazy too is this guy, once McCaffrey plays, this guy's just gonna just disappear completely. But you have that kind of firepower on your bench, and the Jets do have a good defense.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not like he was out there rushing against, the Carolina Panthers. He was out there against the New York Jets, who have a really good defense, and it's just crazy, man. That this was the outcome. I thought the game would have been closer. Obviously, there was a late touchdown that Tyrod Taylor threw.
Oh, let me chime in. Why in the hell would you think the game would be closer?
I thought the Jets would have played him better, especially with no Christian McCaffrey. Once I knew McCaffrey wasn't playing, I thought it would have been a closer game. I thought it would have been a closer game. I didn't think 32-19. Now, fun fact: this is the first time in NFL history a game has ended 32-19.
Scoregami
for the people playing at home.
I don't give a damn if Christian McCaffrey wasn't there. Bro, it's plug and play with them 49ers over there.
Yeah, but Christian McCaffrey is probably, 60% of your offense is probably designed around Christian McCaffrey.
But you got to remember, you still got Debo there. Debo could have easily went running back.
I
don't think so. I don't think it's the same. I don't think it's the same thing.
It's not the same. But Debo, I'm saying plug and play. You could have put. Look what happened.
Well, that's the thing. I think that's the difference of you don't game plan for a guy. Like you could game plan for Debo. You know the sets. You know the plays are going to run where they put Debo in the backfield. They motion him here, motion him there. You know what to look for with Debo Samuel. You have no film on Jordan Mason at all.
But what I'm saying is this:
no film.
I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that you're wrong. But even if you lined up Debo in that running back position, you still got other people that can take the weight off that. They just have so many. They just have so many people that can, so many weapons that can kind of like, just
because I don't think
offset it.
Debo's not a between the tackles.
That's my point. Yeah,
Debo needs space. So a lot of Debo's runs are jet sweeps, counters to the outside.
I believe that
stretch plays. So when you have a guy that is just pounding you up the middle for 4 quarters,
yeah,
28 carries. Derrick Henry.
Hey, Paul Mack, say it again. Pounding. How many quarters?
4.
Pause, man.
Jesus
4 quarters.
Christ.
4 quarters of grade A pounding by Jordan Mason.
Hey, Shannon Sharp knows something about pounding.
Yeah, he does. But that's the thing topic. Is you look at Derrick Henry had 13 carries for the Baltimore Ravens. They gave Jordan Mason the ball 28 times. This guy has never carried that much probably since high school.
But they had to though.
No, they didn't.
So they had to, like you just said, and like I just said, we could have lined up Debo in that running back position, right? But he can't pound. Pause. So you had to have somebody else there, right? So the play action is kind of what they live and die by, because they have such a great running core with Christian McCaffrey and with Debo and with everybody else there. So they had to run the ball and kind of like play action in it. Because if not, I like Brock Purdy, but I don't think Brock Purdy is that dude as far as like passing. So they got to mix it up. So they were going to have to do that either way.
Well, the point being is that this is Shanahan, they have made it known how many undrafted running backs he did this. His dad did this in Denver, so this is really nothing new. But as Paul mentioned, who the hell is Jordan Mason? Nobody knew about this guy. He come out and
no tape. You're right. There's no tape on him.
Yeah, $147.
This team ran more times than they threw without their MVP running back in the game. They ran the ball damn near 40 times and only threw 29 passes. They weren't going to change.
I get it.
They weren't going to change who they were just because McCaffrey wasn't there. They said, all right, we got you. We're going to play 49er football.
Paul, that's your point.
I guess my dumb ass would have thought that they would have switched it up and try to move something different.
Well, hey, to Paul's point, Mason ran the ball 28 times. Brock Purdy threw the ball 29 times.
Yeah.
It's what they do, man. They still gonna get their attempts rushing the ball. So so a lot of people is kind of putting the Jets in like I don't think it's us on this panel, but and of course it's the media that's doing this, but Aaron Rodgers, he's older. It's one game, but y'all like what y'all saw from Aaron Rodgers?
Hell no.
He go with that Tom.
Hell no. Like, it was a lot of stupid shit that was going on. And it wasn't even really him. The defense was just busting his ass. Like, let's just call a spade a spade. You know what I mean? The defense was really just busting his ass. Tyrek Taylor came in and scored a touchdown. The defense was just busting their ass. That's what I'm going to just leave it at that.
Okay. All right. Now I'm just curious what y'all thought about Aaron Rodgers at all.
I mean, I think you can tell that there's still some meshing that has to happen. I mean, I know you had training camp, but how active is he in training camp? Like, how connected is he? Obviously, him and Alan Lazard still have a great relationship. That's going to be his go-to guy. But when you have Garrett Wilson on the other side, that guy needs to be your leading receiver. You have to feed Garrett Wilson. I mean, he had 6 catches, 60 yards. You know, Breece Hall out of the backfield, so it was a lot of just dink and dump to the running back because it's playing in San Francisco is a tough team to play when you haven't played football in a year, and your first game back is against the 49ers.
600 days, more than 600 days.
So I'm not gonna say anything bad about Aaron Rodgers. I mean, he was 13 out of 21. He was making smart throws. They just weren't big throws. And obviously he had the one interception, but you know, that's more of a Niner defense, I think.
Paul, I'm gonna go on the other side, man. Like I think he just couldn't keep up, man. Like you saw it, man. Like he just couldn't keep up. Like he's not mobile. He's been mobile. He's not really ever been mobile, but he's not there, man. And then he's 600, what they say, 612 days, 620 days out of football. Come on, man. He can't do it.
All right.
He can still throw a pass, obviously, but I don't think he can't do it, man.
I just think you can't base his performance on this game being his first game back against the NFC representative of the Super Bowl last year. On the it's tough, man. On the road in San Francisco, I mean, it's a lot to ask.
I got you. I definitely got you, man. He played one of the best teams in the league and one of the best defenses in the league. He had to come back against that, but yeah, man. I just think against the AFC is always stronger than NFC usually. I think he'll have some good games on his side. Well, no, they're both AFC. Excuse me. And no.
What are you talking
Nah,
about?
man.
Niners are NFC, bro.
That's what I'm saying. I'm saying I think he played a good team, right? When he gets to the AFC, he's not going to do anything against them.
All right, well, we're going to see what happens when this transition to games here and see what we got. So, all right, let's move on here, and we'll go to a few more topics before we get to Paul's segment here. Y'all see what's some of y'all top players? Who's invited to the barbecue? Paul, you can start off. It's been a while.
I can start off? I'll start off. All right. I'm going to go ahead and invite my man. I invited him a couple times last year, and I'm so happy that he's out of that dumpster fire that appears to be the Cleveland Browns right now. But I'm gonna invite Baker. I'm gonna invite Baker Mayfield. Week 1.
Let Bake cook.
Let Bake cook, man. I mean, Bake had himself a day. We'll see if that continues, this week coming up. But I have the stats over here somewhere. Let me see. Or not.
I got you. Let's see if I can pull him up.
But I mean, he had like a 145 QBR. He threw hell of a game. But yeah, man, I mean, just Tampa Bay doing what Tampa Bay has to do, knowing that how weak that division is, and coming out. I mean, I know they played. It wasn't a huge game. They played against a rookie quarterback in the Commanders, but yeah, man, here we go. My boy Baker Mayfield. Tampa Bay scored 37 points. My man Bake. Here we go. 24 of 30 for 289 and 4 touchdowns, no picks. And he ran for 21. So over 300 yards of total offense, 4 total touchdowns in an absolute slaughter of the Washington Commanders. And, shout out Mike Evans. The man got paid in the offseason. Love to see it. Love to see the loyalty. He could bring Mike Evans with him too. Mike Evans could come along. 61 yards receiving, 2 touchdowns, 5 catches on 6 targets. That makes your job easier when you have a Mike Evans and a Chris Godwin on either side of you. But just Baker Mayfield, man. Just the journey that young man's been on. Getting drafted by the Browns, then getting cut, going to the Rams. And just it's nice to see him find a home in Tampa Bay. So just it warms your heart for Baker, a guy that was allegedly going to be a bust. He wasn't going to amount to anything, and he got Tampa to the playoffs last year. Made a nice little run, and yeah, man, Baker Mayfield.
What's on the grill for him?
I mean, he sounds like he's just kind of like a ribs and mashed potatoes kind of guy. So I ain't going too crazy. I'll just play that music. Let him do his little Baker dance. Because he's there for the party. He probably drinks like PBRs and stuff. So Baker's down to party.
That sounds about right. Tom, who's invited to the barbecue? What you making,
brother? Sorry for my last spill, but I'm Richardson from the Colts, man, and I talk highly of. Even though they didn't win, that man went. His passing don't look that good, but he balled out though. He went 9-19. He had 212 yards. He had 56 rushing yards, and they almost won. Almost ain't winning, but I think I'm gonna invite him. And ain't gonna be no steaks or nothing like that. I'm gonna give him some burgers. So Richardson, I'd invite him. I think next week is gonna be a better game.
All right, so AR Richardson, get some ribs.
Yeah. No ribs. Just a couple burgers with a little bit of cheese. He got an extra cheese.
A couple of burgers. All right. So I think all of us, we had a clean sweep thinking that the Bengals was going to win the game, and it just seemed like, well, they like to show up against Pat Mahomes and all the big teams, but when they play these little teams, And I get it. You know, the Jamar Chase contract is probably a distraction right now. So probably not really helping with the situation. Or I know you're looking forward probably to the big game because they got a big game they got to play this week. So maybe they just overlooked their opponent. But that's the beautiful thing about football, man. You can't do that. So, but shout out to Ramondre Stevenson. Dude had 25 attempts, 120 rushing yards, 1 touchdown. He did have 1 fumble, but that's okay. You know, he did his thing where the New England team combined with his 120 had 107 rushing yards, and Cincinnati had 70 rushing yards. So one way you kind of beat a really talented quarterback and a talented offense team, run the ball, control time and possession.
Bengals miss Joe Mixon bad.
They do.
Yeah, because Joe went crazy, though.
They do. So,
Joe went crazy.
But on top of that, Ramondre, I know it's week 1. You get into the groove of things. So, come on, man. We'll throw some. I'll throw some steaks on the grill. And,
Cut it out, Cortez.
Get some baked potatoes and stuff like
that.
Get
some ballpark hot dogs and put it on for them, and then maybe the next week y'all do something else.
You know, Ramondre loves him some food, brother. You better make him something good.
Yeah, man. That's why I said steak and baked potato, man. He'll be all right.
I don't know, bro.
You don't know?
I don't know.
Hey, he probably seems like a guy that like a medium well steak. How about that?
Maybe.
All right, Paul, the floor is yours. I mean, I know you've been waiting for this segment, man. So, Paul, this guy stinks segment. It is good to be back, and let's see what Paul is cooking up on this time here.
I'm gonna start off strong.
I'm excited for this.
My New York Giants.
Oh, sorry. I thought it was muted.
I assumed that the Vikings weren't going to have a quarterback. Sam Darnold was going to be their starting quarterback, and doesn't fucking matter. I don't think so. But aside from that, on the subject of quarterbacks, Daniel Jones. Oh, Daniel Jones. Where do we begin with Daniel Jones? 22 of 42, 186 yards, no touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Since signing his massive contract, I believe he now has more pick sixes than he has passing touchdowns. Not going to win a lot of football games that way. But when your backup quarterback is Tommy DeVito and Drew Lock, at this point, just put in Drew Lock. I just don't see this going any better. It's going to be a long season. It's only week 1. Schedule is only going to get harder. So you got to play Dallas twice, Philly twice. We'll probably lose to the Commanders. Who knows? I don't know. But 6 points at home, wearing those ugly-ass uniforms that they wore. But Daniel Jones does stink. And there was a point in time where I was sitting here and I was like, wow, we might be the worst team in the NFL. But then luckily, I think I was bailed out by the Carolina Panthers. So we might be the second worst team in the NFL. So there's that. But I feel like, anytime you're comparing yourself to the Carolina Panthers and those kind of situations, there's really only one thing you can say about it, and it's
oh brother, this guy stinks.
So New York Giants, buckle up. It's going to be a long season, and it didn't help seeing Saquon do what he did. That didn't help either. And in a game where no one wanted to even be in Brazil. Like nobody wanted to play.
Cut it out, bro.
None of them wanted to play.
Keep going.
None of them wanted to play.
Keep going.
Saquon didn't even want to play, and he scored.
Keep going. Keep going on your Giants.
He scored more touchdowns than the entire New York Giants team.
Keep going on your Giants, man. Go ahead.
In fact, Saquon Barkley might score more touchdowns by himself than the Giants will probably score all season.
I think he already did.
Well, yeah, because they scored 0. So that's
Exactly. I think he already did.
He's up 3-0. So, Giants stink. Daniel Jones stinks. But at the end of the day, we're not the Carolina Panthers.
No. You forgot. Your uniform stunk too.
Yeah, those uniforms fucking suck.
Yeah,
I don't know whose idea that was.
Sorry, I didn't mean to get in your segment. Sorry, bro.
But at the end of the day, we're not the Carolina Panthers. So while most of you guys are fighting for division titles and all this kind of stuff, I'm just hoping we don't finish as the worst team in football. That's my hope, and I just pray that by the time the season's over, there's 1 or 2 teams worse than us, and honestly, it's not looking good. So
yeah.
All right. This segment started, Paul. I know you hate that hurts you to do that on your own team, but it needed to be said.
It needed to be done.
So, well put. And hopefully your team don't bring. We'll just see what happens during the season. So
just burn them jerseys too. Burn those jerseys. Don't ever bring them back.
No, the pants. The jerseys is good. The pants. You gotta burn the pants, man.
I need the KG Craig Sager soundbite. And we told him to burn his suit. Just burn those jerseys. Put them in a trash can. Light them on fire.
It's the pants, man. Y'all gotta burn the pants. The khakis. Y'all gotta burn those.
There it is. All right, let's go into our week 2 picks. And I have time to accumulate the picks. I will give you an update next week with that. We'll dive deeper in that. But hey, we're gonna start off with Thursday night game. You got the Bills at the Dolphins. Already a division game in AFC. Wow. Who y'all got? Paul, you go first. Who you got? The Bills and the Dolphins.
I'm gonna take Miami. Buffalo kind of struggled last week. They made plays when they had to, but I think Miami's the better team, and I think Miami pulls that one out.
Got you, Tom.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Paul, man. The speed of the Dolphins is just like maybe unmatched, and they got speed everywhere, man. I'm going Miami.
Dolphins have always been playing the Bills tough before.
Yeah, it's a rivalry game. Well, it's not a rivalry, but it's a conference game. But the speed doesn't match up, man.
They don't like each other. I know a few Dolphin fans that doesn't think too kindly of the Bills and the Bills vice versa. But nonetheless, to pick at 3-0. This panel agrees. It's Dolphins. Dolphins get a win.
Yep.
Going to the Sunday games, the Raiders at the Ravens. R&R.
I still got the Ravens, brother. I got the Ravens.
There will be no R&R for the Raiders. The Ravens. Yeah. The Ravens are going to come out and they're going to do what Ravens do, and they're probably going to win this game by 3 touchdowns.
I'm going to make it short. I believe they should have won last game, and I think they're going to win this game.
Yeah. I got one of my buddies who think the Ravens are going to be the second best team in the AFC West. I don't know what he's smoking.
I think they're just going to be the second best team in the AFC.
No. I'm talking about the Raiders.
Oh, you said Raiders. I thought you said Ravens.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
No. Yeah.
No,
I had a buddy.
Well, he's wrong. He's definitely wrong. He's definitely wrong.
I got a buddy that's on the Raiders. I'm like, okay, the Chargers are going to be good. They got Jim Harbaugh. Broncos is supposed to be projected to be better. I expect the Raiders to be last in the AFC West. But
my bad. I thought you said Ravens. My bad.
No. We had like a whole discussion about it. I was like, you're smoking crack. But on top of that, the Ravens bounce back. They'll win at home. They're tough. They're tough to beat at home. So,
anywhere.
Could we have an upset alert? The Chargers at the Panthers.
Hell no. We going for the Chargers, bro. The Panthers ain't winning no games. They're gonna win 3 games this year.
Yeah, Panthers suck.
It's not happening. It's not happening.
I'm rolling with the Chargers.
Yeah, Chargers will win.
I'll give them 3 games this year.
Oh man, I really hope it ain't. Listen, the Panthers play the Broncos, and I'm going to that game, so I hope it ain't that game.
That's one of the games they're gonna win. Yo, I had somebody hit me up and say I got Panther tickets for $50. If you guys want Panther tickets, let me know.
You better sit in a box for $50.
Hey, I'm about to say you must be in the front row for $50.
Nah, this shit was nosebleeds for $50, bro.
Nope, I'm good.
I said hell no.
I'm good. Panthers gonna be looking like the Chicago White Sox game here in a minute.
Shit.
All right, next game, 1:00. Saints at the Cowboys.
I'm picking the Saints because I don't like the Cowboys. You already know that.
I know y'all both hate the Cowboys. Just get it over with.
I'm going Saints.
Yep.
All
right,
let's go.
And I'm going Cowboys. Cowboys win this game.
Of course you would.
All right, next 1:00 game. Ooh, this is gonna be a good game. I hope it's on.
That'll be on Fox. That'll be our game.
Yeah,
that'll be our game.
That'll be low. Yep.
Yeah, definitely.
Buccaneers at Lions.
I'm going Lions.
I'm riding with the Bucks. I'm riding with Tampa.
Okay. I'm going Lions. I think.
Yeah, I'm going Lions.
But the Bucks gonna make it interesting. They're gonna.
Yeah, for sure. Where's it at?
It's in Detroit.
It's in Detroit.
Yeah, I'm going Lions for sure. They run the game. It's too good right now.
1:00 game. Your Colts at the Packers. Do the Colts bounce back, Tom?
Wow, man, this is a rough game right here. Like, I didn't even pick them last game, but I knew Richardson was going to peel off. But damn, man, they played us so good. I don't know, man. This is a hard game right here. Like, shit. If I was betting money, I would go with Green Bay. But if I'm just talking shit, I'm going to go with the Colts.
Okay.
I'm gonna assume no Jordan Love.
Exactly.
So I'm gonna roll with the Colts, man. They played the Texans pretty tough.
Yeah, man.
Looks like Anthony Richardson maybe learned how to defend himself when he runs.
You just gotta stay healthy, man. You just gotta stay healthy.
Yeah, but that's like I say every year that we do this podcast, everybody's got to stay healthy. But you saw what he did last year. Last game once he's healthy. He fucking balls out, man.
Yeah, but he's a guy that puts himself in trouble. So he has to make sure he keeps himself healthy because he's kind of reckless. But
yeah,
I'm gonna go with the Colts.
I'm with you. I just
think they got some firepower, and I don't even know who Green Bay's backup quarterback is. So if that's the case,
it's Malik. The one that came,
Malik Willis, the guy they got from the Titans, right?
Malik Willis. Yeah.
Well, that guy sucks. So
Malik can't win us. That's what the name is.
So I'm around with the Colts.
Yeah. Assuming same thing. If Jordan Love's not playing, the Colts.
No, he's not. We put him on a commission, so he's probably not going to play for the next 2 weeks.
All right. Still slots for 1:00 games. You got the Browns at the Jaguars.
Jaguars. I got the Jaguars.
Jaguars will bounce back.
Yeah. They're too good.
Y'all hear about Deshaun Watson?
He's in trouble.
He go back to court? He went to court?
He got another case on him now. And apparently
I did hear about that shit.
Allegedly, he has a burner account on X under the name Tyrone Bickerstaff.
Dog, so let me tell you what they said, and I heard about it. And they said the girl, long story short, he invited some girl. No, she invited him over to the house, right? Mm-hmm. Long story short, they was about to eat dinner. She come in the bedroom. This nigga's ass up, laying on the bed, butt ass naked.
He pulled the naked man from How I Met Your Mother?
Butt ass naked, bro. Talking about massage my ass.
Hey.
Oh my god. What is wrong with that guy?
Either way, I don't know.
Allegedly, that's the story.
I don't know who's going to play quarterback for them. If it's going to be Deshaun Watson, Tyrone Bickerstaff, Jameis Winston.
Well,
I don't know what's going on.
I think his back going to play quarterback.
That's a game. The Jags rebound. Jags at home. Jags win.
Yeah, it is. He made his money. He's done.
Yeah. At another 1:00 game, 49ers at the Vikings. This will be a clean sweep, I believe.
Yeah, let's go.
49ers.
Next game.
Hope the Vikings enjoyed being undefeated.
Yeah, it didn't last long.
Watch they win. Watch
your team. Your team 1-0 couldn't be me. Your team 2-0, not the Vikings.
Not with Sam Darnold. The quarterback against that defense. Yeah. No way.
Watch they win, and I'm still going with 49ers, but We all three gonna be wrong.
Yeah, yep. Watch, we're gonna eat crow here next week.
Yeah.
All right. Seahawks at the Patriots. Another 1 o'clock game.
Oh
Seattle.
shit. I'm going with Patriots. Brissett looks good. Pause.
All right. All right. The Jets at the Titans. This is another one. Hey, they got a lot of 1 o'clock games. Jets at the Titans.
Jets.
Tom?
Got the Jets.
I'm gonna go with the Jets.
Jets. Yep, Jets. Giants at the Commanders. Your last 1 o'clock game.
Commanders, boy. Commanders gonna butt that ass.
Giants,
Matt,
baby. Let's go.
There it is. Bounce back, baby.
Let's go.
Ah, man. Hell
Bounce
no.
back. There you go, Paul. Come on, man. Don't quit on your team, bro.
That's right.
Hey, that's one. I love the confidence, man.
If this was
Not gonna
week
get the win.
6, it'd be different. But week 2, we're rolling the Giants. Baby.
There it
That
is.
boy
Not
about
gonna
to throw for
Hey.
over 300 yards.
Hey, not gonna get the win, but I appreciate the comments. The Commanders to win.
Yo, he gonna throw for over 300 yards for sure.
There it is. All right, the Rams at the Cardinals.
Ooh, shit.
Rams was in a good dog fight with the Lions this week, man. Last week.
Nah, but
Cardinals running top fight with the Bills.
I was about to say Kyler looked good. He fumbled the ball, but like
That's fair.
I'm gonna go with Kyler again.
Okay,
Nah,
I'm going Rams.
Rams is a better team. I'm going to go with the Rams.
I got you.
I'm going Rams. Russell Wilson's coming back to Denver.
No, he's not.
425. Hey,
Russell Wilson, the only quarterback to be listed as inactive, still came out with his shoulder pads on. What a gamer that guy is.
But that's what you have to do for your young boys. For your young boy, you got to do that.
That was for Russell Wilson's ego, bro. That was for his ego. That was
but he had to do that to put the pep in the step for the rest of the team, bro. You got to be a fucking example.
Why are you justifying this? This something makes it come out.
I don't like that motherfucker. But I'm just saying.
Nah, they didn't even let Rudy put pads on the sideline, bro. Don't worry about it.
Brother.
You must have been playing Sierra before you got on the podcast, bro.
You know what? 1-2 step. All right, bro. Whatever.
All right, who's winning this game?
I'm gonna go
Who you
Pittsburgh.
got?
I'm gonna go Pittsburgh.
Okay.
Pittsburgh just finds a way. They just find a way.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Pittsburgh too.
All right, Broncos will bounce back. We'll get
Let's
our
go.
first game.
Let's go, baby.
No, I think we just did that just because Cortez. But go ahead, keep going.
I appreciate y'all. Y'all want to egg me on. I love it.
We love you,
It's all
bro.
good.
We love you.
I appreciate it. Listen, I bet the over on the team wins for the Browns. I don't think they make the playoffs, but I think they win over 5.5 games.
Lose your money if you want.
Hey, we might be the third worst team in the NFL. So
You never know, bro.
That bar's
Wait till the
pretty
end of
low.
the season. Exactly.
Oh, all right. 425 game. Bengals at Chiefs.
Chiefs for sure.
Yeah, I think the Bengals got some problems, man. They lost some weapons on offense, and I think the Chiefs
Have everything on.
just got stronger, and they're learning how to use Xavier Worthy too. Oh boy,
The
Yeah.
Bengals
You talk
are
about
the most
fast,
confusing
bro.
team in the NFL that they're going to win this game. The Bengals will win this game.
tell
Okay.
you what,
They're weird, man. They're weird.
Xavier Worthy might be the only person in the history of football that has 2 touches for 2 touchdowns.
Bro, you just know how, like, and Paul, you can relate to this. It's like Eli Manning was like the Tom Brady, like, killer. Bro.
No. That's different. Cut it out.
No,
Come on.
Now-
Cortez,
now
cut
when-
it out, bro.
Now when
I'm just
Zach,
saying,
now when Zach Moss is your running back, it ain't happening, bro.
Cut it out, bro.
All right, bro. I'm just
I'm
saying,
going.
bro.
I'm going. I'm
Next,
going.
let's go to the next.
Mossy Joe
Let's
gonna
go to the
win.
next game.
If it was in Cincinnati, a little different, but in Kansas City,
Listen,
Ain't
I know
no
I hate
way.
the Chiefs, but the dude do show up in the big game, so we'll see.
He shows
All
up in
right.
every game.
All right. 8:20
We're not hitting
game. The Bears at the Texans.
oh, the battle of number 1 picks, huh?
Mm.
No. Stroud wasn't number 1 because it was Bryce Young, and that guy sucks. Never mind.
Hey, what we talked about last week? What did I say last week?
You did, yeah, you did.
I said
You
last
did.
week. He's not much watch. It's not much watch TV over there. You already know.
All right.
In Chicago?
Of course.
Hey, they pulled it out. They're 1-0.
But it's not must-watch TV. That's what we'll talk about. We'll talk about another time.
Well, NBC is hoping it's must-watch TV because it's a Sunday Night Football game.
This is Sunday. They're hoping you're wrong, Tom.
Exactly. I'll take the Texans on this one. I'll take the Texans as well.
Texans got so loaded in the offseason, man.
Yeah, I'll take Texans.
So, Tom, you calling the Texans big here? It's going to be a blowout?
No, I can't say it's a blowout, but it's like kind of the mind over matter. This guy can kind of run a team already. We can see it. And then you got somebody that just getting over here to try to run a team. You know what I mean? So everybody's putting the eggs in one basket, man. And he didn't show me anything that I like.
Okay. Still long season. We'll see. More time.
Yeah, it is. And that's what I'm saying. By the end of maybe week 12, maybe week 13, I might be saying something else, but I don't think it's I don't think it's working out.
I think the Bears need this to be ugly.
Yeah.
This is an ugly game, but I just don't see them keeping Houston out of the end zone with all the weapons they have. So I'm gonna go with the Texans.
Brother, they can't, man. Houston's already established the dominance. Maybe not with every team in the NFL, but they already established their dominance. And I think they could do anything they want.
After week one, Tom?
Last year, I'm talking about. I'm sorry. From last year to now.
Okay.
I think this that new team that you got to watch out for.
All right. Hey, Texans will win this game. We'll concur.
You can't see my hands, but I'm putting my hands up.
Yeah. I got. All right, Cabby.
I think Stroud. He's that boy.
All right. And your primetime game on Monday, the Falcons at the Eagles. Battle of the Birds. That was a terrible bird sound, by the way. Sorry. Don't take me nowhere. Before you pick Tom, Paul, who you got?
Well, for anybody who's into animals and stuff like that, the eagle is an apex predator. So Eagles win. I think Kirk Cousins is kind of washed, but
yeah. Hey,
he learned how to use Kyle Pitts last week, though.
Yeah, about time somebody knew how to use Kyle Pitts.
So
listen, Peter's gonna sponsor this game. Eagles gonna win. All right, Tom. I guess you putting that son. You already know who you picking. Who you
I don't know
picking?
if you see that ball, that signed ball right there.
I see a glare.
Yeah, it's a glare.
Who signed that ball?
Yeah. Don't worry about it, Paul Mack.
Garbage picking, field goal kicking Philadelphia phenomenon.
Paul Mack signed that ball.
Did Mark Wahlberg sign that ball from Invincible?
Well, it'd probably be worth more if he did. So he could come through.
Who signed the ball? Who signed the ball, bro?
I did.
Nice. That's awesome. All right. That was our picks. Let's wrap this up. We're at an hour.
Y'all didn't ask me who was it?
What? Who gonna win? Who gonna win, bro?
Fucking Eagles. Come on.
Okay. I mean, we already knew the answer. I thought you already said that's why you pointed the ball.
I want y'all to ask me.
Okay. All right. Well, Tom picked the Eagles.
I picked the Orlando Magic to win.
Hey, man. You give me something about basketball.
No, we good. It's gonna be.
Do the Eagles have a song?
That's right. Play the song, Tom.
Y'all want to sing it or y'all want to play it?
Oh my God!
I want to know "Fly Eagles Fly" bullshit.
Here we go. He sang it for me. There we go. I'm good. God bless y'all.
There it is. Hey, let's wrap this bad boy up. All right, make sure y'all stay tuned throughout the week. Football's back, so we get back into the groove of this. Good to have Mr. Matt back. Good for him to decompress, but it's always good to have.
Yes, sir.
The better half of the show back. So welcome back, Paul. Of course, Tom and Kevin and Brad will be on throughout the time. We'll just kind of rotate, get them all in the midst there, and then we'll just run the show, man. So
Cortez, I want to say one more thing before we leave. I want to thank you guys all for your service. Responders, 9/11, we're here. We love you guys. We love your family. Everybody that's involved. God bless you.
Thank you, Tom. So make sure y'all stay tuned. Like I said, during the week, you can follow the podcast page at BLC Podcast. Mr. Matt, give me your @name.
I'm on X at @the_Paul_Mac, on Instagram at @thepaulmac520, and Daniel Jones, the domestic terrorist.
Oh my God. Tom, you got anything on that or no?
Yeah, DPaulMac520 at Instagram and at Feet Finder, DPaulMac. Find me, ponytaillover.com. I'm there. Hit your boy up.
There it is. You can follow me at In the Mind of CP. Also get the podcast on. We got video clips, all that stuff on Instagram, TikTok at BLC Podcast. We're on X. What I mentioned, BLC Podcast, Facebook. You can type in Boston Not Court Podcast. Pretty much wherever you download the podcast, we're got available everywhere. So a lot of options to download the content. So we just appreciate you guys tuning in, listening. So, but yeah,
Won't be able to dodge us for much longer. We're gonna be everywhere.
Absolutely, man. So, but hey, once again, guys, thanks for listening. Speaking for Tom Childs, Paul Mack, this Cortez Paul Boston Court Podcast. Enjoy the rest of your evening and morning drive to work. All that fun stuff. Take care, guys.
Peace.